Welcome to Tobar's Realm. Today I think I'm going to start making some pauldrons for my chainmail tunic armor set I'm working on. So I just made up a model here out of some beer box cardboard, and on these I'm actually going to make it about half leather, half metal. These two pieces here will be out of metal and the rest will be leather. You'll have a strap that goes around from the front across the chest underneath the armpit of the other arm, and this will go around my arm and have a little strap with buckle to hold it on there. So I'm waiting for the leather to be delivered, so I think I'll start on the metal pieces. Like I said, these two pieces here will be made out of sheet metal, and then I think I'll add the I guess it's called a guard brace on the top, just like the horizontal piece that sticks up from the actual pauldron piece. So I'm just going to start by getting these cut out, start forming them. Alright, I got my pieces cut out and cleaned up the edge with a file. Now I just drew a line about 3/16 of an inch in, and I'm going to chisel along that line so I can roll the edge over, just to make a nice soft edge and add some rigidity to the piece. So I just use basically a wooden anvil with a groove in it, chisel along that line. Alright, I got the edges rolled on the shoulder pieces. I wanted to do that before I put the bend in it. But now on the piece that goes below that, I'll need to roll the edges on those too, but I'm going to put a double curve in it before I roll that edge. So I'm going to go ahead and work on that. Alright, I got the double curve in this piece, and I rolled the edge all the way around. So now I'm going to go back and just chisel right along the inside of where that fold is. Just put a nice line around it. Put that little line all the way around the edge. Alright, I got the two pieces done and chiseled the edges and all that. They're not quite the right shape yet, so I got to work on this one first, get it the shape I want, and then I'll work on that little part that goes up. I can't remember the name of it, like sword guard or something. I've seen multiple names for it, but you know what I'm talking about. So let's get this started formed. Alright, I got the edge kind of rolled over a little bit. Now working on that pattern for the, I guess, sword break, I guess it's called. So should be about right. I don't want it too tall so get it cut out and start forming that one too. Alright, I got those sword breaks. I'm just gonna call them sword breaks. Pretty much formed. Looks pretty close fit. I can get that fine-tuned when I rivet them together. So now it's time to roll the edge around on that one. Alright, I got the shoulder piece lines chiseled on there, and the sword stop, sword guard, whatever it's called, piece pretty close. So I think it's time to rivet these two together so I can get it exactly fitted. So we'll start on that. Alright, I just got the first rivet set here. I got the holes on the outer piece, and that sucked it in pretty good. Now I can kind of work it a little bit to try to get them formed together. So now I'm just making my own little rivets to attach those together. I've just been using finishing nails where I'll cut them off, put them in this 1/4 inch piece of steel with a hole through it. I'll cut it off, mushroom the top, then I can take it out, and then basically I got a rivet that I can use and put in there, and then mushroom the other side. So I'm just going to make a few more of these and start riveting those together. Alright, I got all those rivets put in. It turned out good. That's a nice tight fit, I think. So now basically the metal forming part of this is done, but what I'm thinking of doing is adding some spikes onto these pauldron pieces. So I just made a little test piece, I don't know, something like that maybe. So I'm going to do a practice one, weld it on to a piece of scrap, just see how it looks, see if it works. So cut this pattern out and try and make that little spike piece. Alright, so I made one of those little spikes just to test out. Came out alright, I think. They're kind of difficult. But I'm just going to try tacking it onto this piece of scrap just to see how it goes. It can be tough to weld on this 18 gauge, so we'll see. Well, that turned out pretty good. I'm going to sand it off and see how it looks. Alright, here's my prototype, and I think that'll work. Turned out pretty good. So I guess I got to make 4 more of these spike things. I'm going to put them like right in the corner, in the front, and the back, because there's not a lot of real estate to work with in the rest of it because of where the rivets are going to end up going. But I think put one in the front corner and the back corner. Alright, I got all my spike pieces made. Now I'm going to weld that seam on them before I attach it to the pauldron. Just in case I mess it up, I don't want it to be attached to it. Alright, so these turned out pretty good. I didn't have any real mistakes or anything, so I'm going to hit it with the wire wheel just to clean up some of those grinder marks, but other than that, I think these are pretty much done. Alright, now that I got the metal parts of the pauldrons done, it's time to start on the leather. I just got this beautiful piece of leather, full side, from Montana Leather Company. It's 8 to 9 ounce, so it's pretty thick. So let's get the pattern traced on there and cut a piece out. Alright, I think I got the patterns for the leather pieces pretty much finalized now. And I ended up adding about a 3-inch section in the middle because it was not quite long enough. I wanted it to go down almost to the elbow here, and then I'll attach the strap around the bicep here. It was just a little too up into the armpit, so now it's time to transfer to the leather and cut these pieces out. Alright, I just got this tacked together with the rivets. I haven't attached it yet, but I just wanted to make sure it all fit together, and that's looking good. I'm going to end up putting some trim on these. I think they're just a little too plain. But for now, I think I'll take this metal pieces out, wire wheel the whole thing, and then glue them using my weed burner and spray them down with WD-40. They'll be nice and black, and that'll, I think, make a nice contrast with these brass rivets that I'm going to use. I'm going to start on that. Alright, I got those blued. They're just still oily, so I got to clean them up a little bit, but these I think are ready to go once the leather part's ready. So I'm going to switch back to getting those arm pieces finished up and close to assembly time. Alright, moving forward here, now I've gotten to the point where I need to rivet these D-rings on, because this is the shoulder piece and this is going to be attached to the strap that goes around your chest, under your other arm, and back to this other side. So I'm going to start off by getting these riveted on there, and then also at the bottom of the arm piece, that'll go underneath the upper arm to attach it basically around your bicep. So I'm going to start off by getting those riveted on, and then after that I'm going to put these trim pieces along the bottom, because it was a little bit too plain just the way it is now. And also, if when I rivet it on there, if I do it while it's bent like that, it'll help it stay in that curved shape, because it's kind of just flat now. So that'll help form it better to the arm. But for now, I'm going to get these started. Alright, making good progress on that trim pieces with the rivet on there. Obviously haven't riveted to the straps yet. Just got it tacked together to see how it's looking. I think it's looking good. And I think I'm going to add some trim onto these shoulder pieces too. So I got the long sides cut out and ready, so I'm going to get that on there, and then I'll add it to the top too, but they'll just be two short pieces because the part that attaches it, I guess, goes like this actually. So I'll just need to make two short pieces for here. So continue doing that. Alright, so I got the trim parts attached to the leather shoulder piece. And that gap in the middle is just where the metal part of the pauldron will attach. So this is getting pretty close to riveting. But what I'm going to do now, I think, is cut out the leather straps. And I left this piece of leather long on one side, so I got enough room to cut out some real long straps on it. So I'm going to work on that first. I need some 1-inch straps for the part that goes around your chest, and then some 3/4-inch straps for the part that goes around the upper arm. So I'm going to work on getting that. Alright, I got my straps cut. These longer 1-inch pieces will be the ones that go around your chest to the other side. And I cut some smaller 3/4-inch that'll go around the upper arm for those buckles and straps. But before I start doing that, I got some space on the bottom of these shoulder pieces that are kind of just blank. So what I decided to do is I got the Nordic runes that are around the outside of the Nordic compass, and each one of these letters has a meaning, like strength and prosperity and health and all that kind of stuff. So I just got a pattern that'll fit with the space I have on each one of these shoulder pieces, the lower two on each arm. I just tape the pattern on there, and then I'll go over it with the pencil, and that's just enough to emboss the pattern onto the leather. And then I'll use my stitch groover and just cut those into the leather, so it'll kind of leave a nice pattern. So I'm going to work on that. Alright, looking pretty good here. Just been attaching the, started at the bottom and working my way up. Got the first piece of metal attached on this one. It's kind of tight. Hopefully it'll kind of, once that leather breaks in a little, it'll move around a little bit better, but I'd say that's looking pretty good. Time to get that next piece of metal attached on this one. Alright, I got all the rivets done on this one. Got the shoulder piece attached. So that's good. Those runes put in there, that's looking good, I think. I just need to get that last shoulder piece on this one and then work on the straps. Alright, I got all the buckles attached. The 1 inch on the top and the 3/4 on the bottom. And got the other straps on there, left them plenty long so I can size it up, punch the holes, and then trim that strap to whatever length it needs to be. Got these ones ready to go. So basically that's it, and then I'll be done. Alright, all done. Just got them mounted here with the suit I'm working on. Check out my video making this helmet. That was pretty fun. Thanks for watching. Till next time.